Hi, I'm Barb Chandler. We're going to talk about design today, and we're going to tour this beautiful home in Colorado, and you're going to see how Furniture Row furniture can turn a house into a home. One thing you'll notice here when you walk through the front door is the open format of this beautiful home. It's very important with a large open format that when you're selecting finishes and patterns and colors that it all flows from one room to the next. One of the most important spaces to a home is the entrance. The reason I selected these two pieces for the home would be the wire brushed effect on the mirror, and we've used that throughout the home. Also, the rustic wood here on the console is repeated throughout the home, so I just wanted to tie all of that together. Also, for the function of it, being that it has drawers, so you can put your keys, your cell phone, that sort of thing, you can also add baskets for additional storage. So I was really thinking about the function and the design of the piece for this entrance space. Across from the entrance, we've created a home office. We also have a spot for a sitting area. This room sets the tone for the home's color palette, which are warm golds, gray and white. In this home, I wanted to create a modern farmhouse feel that's so on trend right now. And I did that by using the white painted furniture and then the wire brush on the tabletops. And one of the patterns I wanted to use was this fabric on this chair. I absolutely love these chairs. They're comfortable, the fabric, the colors, they're just great. And so I wanted to use these. It was a jumping off point. And you're gonna have customers that say, you know, I want that chair, I want that fabric. And then you build a room around that. So this fabric is what I based the color palette on in the home. This room, I wanted to put a rug in the room, and it needed to feel or visually read neutral. And so this rug, if you notice, the pattern is pretty nondescript and it reads gray. And so that's why I selected it to just be a neutral, to add softness to the room, but also not compete with the fabric on the chair. To keep things simple and to carry out the farmhouse feel in the home, I've selected these beautiful distressed white wood cabinets and desk. And if you'll notice on the backdrop, it's a shiplap backing onto each piece here. And that's a very modern farmhouse look right now. And with this large opening, these two rooms need to complement each other. Transitioning into the living room, I'd like to talk to you about patterns and textures. Pattern and color are very important to design, but so is texture. Texture is very important because you don't want the room to look flat. And as you'll notice here, we've added several textures to this living room with our throw, and our pillow here has a different texture. And if you notice the stripe here, we have another texture on top of the stripe, so it gives dimension to the space as well. Your guests look to you to put their room together. So don't be afraid at all to mix pattern. It's really quite simple. If you notice here with our chair and our dachshund dog, there's all sorts of patterns going on along with our curtains. This works really well, especially here because of the color palette of the gray and white. We did add a little bit of the warm gold as well. I love an overscale buffalo check and a stripe mixed together. It's a winning combination every time. Because of the open format, we wanted to create a dining space and really define that space. And we did this with an overscale rug. Here's a design tip. The reason you need an overscale rug is when you pull out the chair, you want to have enough room that your chair isn't hanging over the rug. To continue our modern farmhouse look, I chose a very rustic looking table with a spool leg. Also, the undertone color of this table is a gray, and it has a bit of a hang up in it and very heavily exaggerated texture on the surface. I also selected our slipcover looking chairs in a neutral fabric, and it really complements the table along with the rug. Here in the kitchen, we have an overscale island that seats 8 people. Because there's so many bar stools around this large island, we wanted the space from the dining room into the kitchen to flow well. And what I did is I selected a bar stool that coordinated with the table instead of matching the table. I'm not big into matchy-matchy, so I just wanted to coordinate the wood tones and the wood finish, and so that's why I selected the bar stool that I did. When I was sketching out the dining space, I really wanted to use a buffet in here. And so this is an open format, so it's like, where do you put the buffet? Most people would think, oh, this is just, a walk area, but it actually fit this buffet perfectly. So I was able to add the lamps and the accessories and then the pieces on the wall, and it really created another space, also creating extra storage. So the tip here is to think outside of the box and really hone down on what your guest needs. And in this case, they did need a buffet and extra storage, so we were able to use a small wall, and it worked. As we move upstairs to the master bedroom, we've kept the neutral gray, the warm gold, and our whites became more of a creamy white. I've also added a hint of robin's egg blue. This gives a real peaceful, warm feeling to the master bedroom. As a designer, sometimes we do things a little differently, and I threw blue in because it's a bit of a wild card, but it works in the home. We've kept a consistent theme throughout the home, and here in the bedroom, we've also done that with our wire brush wood finish. And the linen fabric on the headboard is also very similar to that of the dining chairs. This may possibly be my favorite room in the entire home. The little girl room is just so fun and so warm. We've incorporated the neutral gray and the gold. This is a metallic gold, but it reads gold. We talked about a little bit of a wild card in decorating. I'd say this is the wild card. It still has hints of modern farmhouse, but it has a little twist to it. The hints of modern farmhouse is here with our linen look in the headboard, which we had the linen look in the master. Some of the modern farmhouse appeal would be things like this with the molding and then the large drawers. One of the things that is in keeping with the modern farmhouse look is the aged iron that is seen throughout the home on different pieces of furniture, like the Bryant Park bed. I like to take an area like this where some may think, oh, it's unusable, what do I put there? I like to turn it into a reading nook. And even in a small space like this, I've repeated the color palette of gold, gray, and white. I want to leave you with one of my most favorite design elements, and that's a Colorado sunset. Here are a few design tips to help you be confident when speaking with your guest. What is the look or style your guest is going for? If they don't know, ask them to show you a photo of a room they like and ask them what it is they like about that room. Find a starting point for the color palette. It could be a rug, a piece of art, or a beautiful fabric. Pull at least 3 colors from your starting point and design from there. Repeat the color palette and finishes to help create a consistent feel. When it comes to fabrics, mix pattern and scale. Suggest furniture pieces for unexpected areas throughout the space. Be bold and add a design wildcard here or there.